Good to have you on, and we're talking about internal vibration today. And Sandra is from clickertraining.ca in Canada, and she works with horses, and I work with human beings, females. Love females. I've got a husband, but I love females. I love females, and she loves helping people. Is it just females or males as well?
Well, a long time ago, I thought I can help everything, but and anyone. But I love to work with female horse owners, like equestrians, and I think we have a different approach of living. And I love to help females who have horses, who wants to enhance the relationship with their horse. So yeah.
Now, that makes a lot of sense. And I don't know about you, but it came to me, the more I've evolved as a female, is the more I realise the different hurdles we have to go through. And I would feel like a traitor trying to say I'm trying to enhance a man when I'm not a man. So that's where I came to that realisation, Sandra. Where did you come to that realisation?
I think, and I'm gonna generalise like really badly here, but in general, most men are goal oriented, and if they have a horse, they have a horse for different purposes. They want to do something with the horse. They have a goal. They want to ride trails, they want to compete, or they have a clear goal. Where when women buy a horse, they really, well, the women that I work with at least, their main purpose is to cultivate their relationship with the horse. And that's so different. And that's why I would like to have a relationship with my horse and the horses that I work with, because I really find that just contributes to my life so much. If you can cultivate an interspecies friendship, which is amazing, and if you have a pet, you know that you can have a good relationship with your pet as well. And but because horses are so big, you also want to do things and you want to be safe. So they need to be trained. And even if it's a little bit, and that's what I help women do, to become autonomous trainers and like educate their horses in a way that is force-free.
Love it. And you know, the more I'm going on this journey, I mean, it's forever evolving, isn't it? All of these journeys. But I really wanted to talk today about internal vibration. In the UK today, the weather has been blue sky, lovely and warm. Everybody's happy. So the external environment makes people happy, right? I've really noticed a switch in it. But why do we have to wait for the weather to make us feel so good? Why do we have, you know, all my students today have been doing their theory exams, and it's like, yes, I got there, you know, or whatever. But why do we have to wait till that end goal, right, when the journey is just so damn good? And for a female, it's really about learning to love who we are and feel that we value ourselves, to give us that training, to give us that the different things we need inside of us, and then our vibration increases. You know, our internal vibration increases, and we're not waiting for someone to give us flowers. We're not waiting for someone to give us the right weather. We're not waiting for the goal to be achieved, but we are happy and we are content today, now, right in this moment, irrelevant of what's going on.
And I think so
strong about that.
I think if you can accomplish that, you have such an amazing life. And for all of you who are watching and recognize what we are talking about, it is a never-ending journey.
Absolutely, I'm not there.
We all go down by external influences or internal thoughts that drag us down, and we focus on the negatives and we let us just, our energy goes down. But I think just to become aware that you can really evoke those positive feelings and that high vibration yourself. And then if you go out in the world, like, I don't know, but if you're in love with somebody and you're out in the world, you're beaming and you're smiling, and everybody seems to smile back. When on a normal day, you might be just looking around and see everybody's not in a that high mood or high vibration, because that's your glasses, that your vision, not the vision,
whatever you're giving out,
glasses that you see the world through.
Yeah, totally. And you are so right. It does come, Sandra, from inside. It starts off inside, no matter what's going on out there. And we had a great conversation again before about, how we could elevate. So I want us to talk about how we can elevate from the inside, not use external things, but from the inside, how we can elevate that vibration. So do you want to start, or do you want me to start, or whatever?
Yeah, you can start. I'll jump in.
So,
because I was thinking, like, how to connect that to horses, but I will.
Okay, that's true. Internal vibration. How do you connect? Well, I'll give you space to think about that. Yeah, I mean, that's another story, isn't it? But how you connect it to humans is, I'll give you an idea. I was really working on myself last Monday. I could feel my energy depleting, right? And I was like saying these affirmations, just simple affirmations, and I was really focusing. I didn't want to look at anybody. I was going for a walk by myself, and I thought, I'll just look at the ocean, I'll look at the sea, and I'll look at nature, and I'll look around at nature, I'll look at the birds, and I just kept focusing. And then I got myself this hot chocolate, and this guy spoke to me, and we laughed, and we laughed, and we laughed. My vibration had switched. Do you see where I'm coming? I didn't know this guy, but we just laughed our socks off when I was getting this hot chocolate, and he was making jokes and and it totally elevated me into another world. So that was my experience of being a female, and I didn't have makeup on, or I looked like a walker, so that was how my internal vibration changed, by just saying some affirmations. It's very simple, by looking at the ocean, by really focusing on all the good stuff. And I'm sure you can get that from inside, internal vibration. I'm sure you can get that around horses and how that person can be with a horse.
Yeah, and well, this is one thing that I do sometimes. If I'm feeling like a little bit down, I just go back in my mind, when is the last time I laughed so hard I just couldn't stop laughing? And when you said that story, that reminded me of some funny things. That has no use to tell, because you should have been there. But that's immediately when you feel like, okay, I can just evoke happiness in me. So that's indeed one technique. And just to bring it back to horses, if I may, then what changed for me is when I started with horses the traditional way, I was taught to look at like how obedient is the horse, and if he's not obedient, use your whip to motivate him to do whatever you want him to do. So what happened is you are unconsciously trained to focus on what mistakes your horse makes. When you train with positive reinforcement, the only way to reinforce, to strengthen that behavior that you want, with an appetitive, with something that the horse wants to have, is that you have that behavior first, or something that looks like. So if you want your horse to jump over jump, you start reinforcing interaction with that jump. And interaction can be as small as looking at that jump or just a pole on the ground to start with. And then he's moving towards it. So because he's curious, so you click and treat and reinforce that behavior for going towards it. And then you click and treat for stepping over. And then that's how you build it. And I noticed in my own life that first I started with animals and focus on what they did well, so I could reinforce that. Then I started to do that with other people. And finally, I started to do that in my own behavior. Like, what did I do well? And how can I reinforce that? Because I was super harsh on myself. And I was always looking for the negative, and because if I could see my flaws, I could improve them. But that's not how it works. No. It works the other way around. Like really seeing what things that went well and focus on that, so you can create more of that. Because yeah, if you're doing something well and it feels good, what do you want? You want to do that more instead of, yeah, it wasn't perfect. Let's focus on the imperfections and make that big. That doesn't really make you feel good. So it's really your internal approach of you that can really influence how you feel about you. Yeah. And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, I resonate with you so much on this. And I'm going to bring this back to the dance world, because when I was single, and well, I still dance, but you know, not as much because we're in lockdown at the moment. But when I used to do it and I felt rubbish, I mean, my self-worth was low. I had to get myself into some sort of feeling to feel amazing. I had to get myself in that vibe. And there was a point where I used to bicycle when I had very little money. I had to bicycle to a tango dancing class, and I had all my dance stuff and had to get changed. Anyway, I was walking out of this dance class and I felt good, and I got myself fit, you know, my body felt amazingly open and all this stuff. And I ended up dancing tango in my cycle kit, my cycle shoes, my cycle trousers, you know, all that stuff. And it was because I felt so good. The men were still wanting to dance with me. I was not dressed in the perfect dress. I had my cycling gear on. And some people said to me, "You think you're really funny, don't you?" And I didn't. I felt gorgeous inside, and it didn't matter. Yeah. So that was coming from myself. I had to find that in myself to feel sexy, to feel gorgeous, to like who I am. And that was the journey I was on.
Oh, I resonate with that so many times, that indeed, if you have that really good feel good feeling about yourself, the whole world reacts different to you. First of all, because you're just looking who is a match for this vibration, and yeah, what you focus on, you attract. Either that's in a negative or a positive way, so you can choose. So I would advise everybody to focus on the positive, because
your horse is focusing on the positive. When your vibration is different, you're focusing on the positive. And we all get down days, but it's that awareness where we can switch ourselves out of it and just train our mind to change. And you can do it, Sandra. You've said some amazing techniques that you use with your horse, and then your horse picks up on it.
And that's a good thing. Like, my horse is sick at the moment and she's in pain. And yesterday I realized, like, yes, I have to just bring my A game and not feel like guilty that I'm all happy and feeling really good and positive when she's in pain. Yes. Because if you are connected, you want to level that vibration. So if somebody's in pain, it's hard to stay really high and vibrant and good. because it's a natural thing to adjust to. I think it's a natural thing to adjust to your environment, because if you are different from the group might push you out.
They don't like it.
They don't like it.
Many times they hate it.
And I think, and that's, so you have to upgrade your group.
Yes, and it's the same with your whether it's in stables or whatever, the people you're surrounding yourself with, your horse people and all that, you have to upgrade.
Absolutely. And also, but yesterday I was realizing that I let myself down because my horse is in pain. And I have to flip it and think, the higher and the more positive I can be, the easier it is for her to heal herself. And of course, there's also external healing. The vet is coming, and we're doing everything we can. But I'm so tuned into her. I just only realized yesterday that it is, I have to be the one that comes and brings the positive vibration and energy, because I realized, how would I feel if I was sick and people come and visit me, and instead of cheering me up and making me feel good, they would level and be depressed. And how would that influence your healing?
So true. Well, it's a bit like if I join if people are really stressed and they're on my courses or whatever, and then I come out stressed, it's not going to do anyone any good. All I can do is make sure I'm in that place myself of the right vibration to elevate those around me. And they can either come on that journey or not. And it's fine. It's absolutely fine what journey people choose. I don't have any issue with that.
And we talked about before we went live on how external things can influence our internal feelings. And I love what you say, that sometimes you have to up-level your environment and your group and find other people that you are matched with, because the higher your vibration, the better you feel and the more good you can do in the world.
You can. It's a very interesting subject, isn't it? And it takes courage. And I all I can do is take it back to the day that I learned reflexology. And I was going into an environment I knew nothing about. And I was, in those days, it had a whole class of nurses. I had no background of anatomy. I was only in my early 20s, and I had to sit there. And I was the baby in the group. So I was elevating my vibration to be around another type of people, but I was so scared. This was beyond my comfort zone. And I think it's good to be a beginner and be around people that are further on in their life in a subject than you personally are, no matter what that subject is. I'm not saying it's scary, but I think it's good for you to be the beginner in something where everyone else is a lot better.
I think that is the best place to have a really more straightforward journey, and all journeys go this way to success if they ever reach it. But surrounding yourself with people with experience in that subject, or knowledge and experience, that is the best way to improve yourself the fastest. And that's what I also teach in my courses. I focus on equine clicker training, and I have so many behaviors that I am the expert in and that I can teach people, but there's still so many at the same time. It's more a circle. It's at the same time I discover more areas that you can, more behaviors that you can train, more setups, that I'm like, wow, I have still so much to learn. And I think that is the beauty. But indeed, in order to raise your vibration and to enhance your learning, it's so tempting to stay within your level, because that is your comfort zone. That's if everybody's the same level, you feel like good. And it does feel uncomfortable to realize that there are people that know more and can more, because that can make you feel that you don't know enough or you can't do enough. But it's the opposite almost. The more you surround yourself by people that know a lot and share that, you will be uplifted to their level way quicker.
Yeah, it's brilliant, brilliant. I love talking about this stuff so much. And it does lead, you know, it can lead to sleepless nights, all of those things. But then a life of mediocrity, a life of staying in your comfort zone, it has its place. Don't get me wrong, it has its place. But when we're working the muscle in our head or in our mind, it gets stronger and stronger. And then you go into environments where people don't relate to you, but then you're going into another vibration and it's lifting you up. Yeah. And I've done that in many different areas of my life, moved out of the comfort. And I think this has been my whole life. And that's what I want to give so much to women, you know, to elevate them, to help them learn to love who they are, because they can earn their own money and have their own lifestyle, and, you know, not wait for someone else or something external to give it to them.
And you're having this program to do, right? Yes. Can you tell a little bit more about that?
Okay, well, it's not live yet.
I'm so curious, because it's so wonderful.
It is. It's so exciting. And I'm going to have a membership group up, and I'll tell people more eventually. But if there are people that want to learn, you know, every time I teach on my courses, holistic courses, people say you're inspirational and blah, blah, blah. You know, especially the women, you've helped me no end. And today I got this text from this, well, not text, this message from a lady saying, you've really helped me to learn to love myself. And that is such a strong, beautiful thing. And for me, that's what I want to do, to help others learn what I've learned. So I don't think it's something I want people messaging me about underneath this chat thing, because it's quite a personal thing. But if people want to personally message me, then you can, and I'll let you know in time about what's happening for my next venture. Yeah, that's all I want to say. If you feel that you want to elevate your vibration, you know, learn to love who you are as a female in your own body without having to be perfect, then get in contact. You can get in contact with me through info@Reflexology UK, or just on my Reflexology UK Facebook page, and just personally message me. Like I said, I don't think this is something we want to just have messages beneath this. It's not from my side anyway. So, but Sandra, that was a very, very deep question.
I love what you do, and the way you speak about it. I think you're brilliant in what you're doing and uplifting other women. And I think people need to know that they can DM you if they want to know more about how you can help them. I just have one more question, because I'm just curious myself about that. Do you need to be in the reflexology world?
No, not at all. I want it just for females, though.
Good.
Just for females, only because that's what I can relate to, and I know where I've come from, and I'm forever evolving. So yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
I love it.
So Sandra, tell me about you, where your plans are going and all that sort of thing. We've talked about internal vibrations, you know, coming from the inside rather than waiting for things to happen from the outside. Where does that take you with clickertraining.ca?
Well, I do think that I have a membership, and I really like to my focus in the membership is to create a warm and inviting and supporting community. That's what I'm good at creating communities. Because what we talked about a little bit earlier, sometimes you have to upgrade your environment to keep your feelings good. A lot of horse owners who are using positive reinforcement are the only one in their surroundings, so they feel like the odd one, and it can be, to me it was always a little bit inspiring, like, oh, I know better.
Yeah.
I was really a know-it-all. Well, maybe that's just part of being a leader. You have to stand out and you have to do that, but everybody needs to have an environment, and I had that environment in the form of mentors. But it can, and people who have their own horse and are not in a livery or a boarding facility, that don't see much other people, they really would like to know, am I doing it right with my horse? Am I not spoiling my horse? Does this go the right way? You need to have a community where you can ask those questions.
Yes.
And although there's many Facebook groups and social media and fora and whatnot where you can ask those questions, the thing is that you never know if that person is really experienced in the subject that they are giving you an answer about, because that's a little bit the trap of internet, that you don't know who is behind that keyboard, and they can say, oh, this helps, that helps, but you don't know if that person has read that in a book, made that up, or really had that experience with different horses and can really give that support from real life experience. And I think it's really important to, we all train our horses, because the moment we are in sight of our horse learns from us. And we can decide if they learn a positive thing or a negative thing. Like if they are nudging us and we are giving the carrot, we literally reinforcing the behavior. Yeah, you nudge me and you get a carrot. Well, in clicker training, you use food. And we don't want that. And that's like the pitfall that everybody says, or not everybody, lots of people who don't believe in positive reinforcement or are afraid to step outside the comfort zone say, like, but they will be muggers, and they will be just they will be only focused on the food. That's if you let them. But if you have your community and people that guide you and watch your videos and say, hey, I can see here your horse is doing that, and in my experience that can lead, if you go this path, that can lead to undesired behavior. If you change it, and it's usually like most people are so knowledgeable, so it's usually just a little thing that I can help them with, because it's what I do in my community is help them really implement their knowledge. And I also provide knowledge, but most people are very knowledgeable already. But it's about the implementing. Oh, yeah, I know that, but I never used it.
It's brilliant. It's really good. And the thing is that we've got in common again is we've both been through it, and we're still going through it. We're living the experience.
And I think that's the drive to share it, because I don't want people to take the long route. I don't want people to reinvent the wheel of clicker training or creating a wonderful relationship with the horse, because there are people that have been through that, and that can really help you make the journey more beautiful. Absolutely. We all have our own journey, but you can just choose to go I don't know, a foot trip to Rome on barefoot, or we can give you a bike.
And it's such an easier journey to go by people that have done it and been there, and it saves you making all the mistakes. And how would people get in contact? I mean, this video will go up on YouTube because that's where the other one went. So, but tell me, how do people get in contact with you?
Clickertraining.ca, that's my website, and you can Google hippologic. Hippo means horse and logic means science, because I do love horses, but I also want to base it on science. And it's so wonderful that science is catching up in some horse subjects.
Isn't it? It is. It is.
Well, we all go like through history. It's really interesting what they think about animals. There are like centuries ago, they thought animals had souls and emotions. And then we went through a period that they thought, no, animals are animals and they are lower creatures and they cannot think. And now we are just moving into that state where people do acknowledge that animals do have emotions, they do have feeling, they can think in whatever their brain or body allows. And maybe that's a different way than we do it, but that doesn't mean that they can't. So that's the science part of hippologic. So you can
I'll feed back to you about that next week when we speak, because that's happened very similar-ish stuff in the holistic world. So I'm sure it ran along its course in the same direction. But I think it's been a wonderful interview with you, Sandra. We're on our 5th today, and it's the last one next week. But it's been an awesome journey. It's been a lovely, lovely, beautiful journey of just a discussion between humans and horses. So I'm going to leave it there, unless there's anything else you want to finish with.
Well, I really would like to thank you for this opportunity, and I really would like to share that I'm looking forward to the Fridays. I can't wait to see what happened next week. And and if people like it, it's nice to leave a comment on YouTube or on Reflexology UK Facebook, and get in touch with us. We would love that. I would love that.
Fantastic, and I'm more than happy to help as well. So I shall see you next week, Sandra. Have a great horse week, and
thank you very much.
I will be looking for different ways of being able to evolve females loving who they are. Okay, see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I think that's fabulous. Bye-bye.
Bye.